Technology today is amazing, the way that we can organize tefillas and people yidden around the world davening for someone that we've never met, never heard of, didn't know existed, and all of a sudden we have thousands of people, tens of thousands of people around the world davening for someone. Why is giving tzedakah for the person, schus of a person to feel better? What's happening when we do that? We can look at it in a number of different ways, all of which are correct, but they're different ways of seeing it. One is that we daven, we ask Hashem to make the person get better, and hopefully Hashem will listen to our prayers and make the person feel better. And when people will learn Torah and say Tehillim and give tzedakah, all of those things. What's happening when we do that? It's more than just we ask Hashem and Hashem answers. It's a lot more complex than that. There's a lot more going on. We give tzedakah, it's a mitzvah. We do something that Hashem asks us to do, whether it's tzedakah, whether it's learning Torah, whether it's saying Tehillim, whatever it is. That action has an impact on the universe. Anything that happens in this universe, da ma'ala ma'ala mimach, everything that happens above comes from us. The thing that we do in this universe has an effect, an impact on the higher layers of the universe. And there are chain reactions and things start happening. And the same way that things travel up, they also travel down. So when we give tzedakah, we learn Torah, we say Tehillim, we daven, all these things we do, they have an impact that it affects our universe. It affects that impacts the shalsheles. It travels up the chain into other layers of reality, and things happen, and it travels back down. There are changes that happen in the fabric of reality and the fabric of all the layers of the multiverse, which then travel down and have an impact on a person who needs a refuah, for example. So everything we do really does make a difference. Now, bringing all of this back towards teshuvah, which is where we're going, and what difference does it really make? The same way that physically, in terms of our bodies, as far as our bodies are concerned, there are all these things going on beneath the surface that we're not aware of and we don't realize and we don't understand, most of us. But ultimately, those are the things that make us who we are. They keep us alive. They make us the person we are. They make us have the experience that we have. Every person is made of a body and a soul, a guf and a neshama. And a body without a soul, a guf without a neshama isn't a person. And a soul without a body also isn't a person. A person is a body and a soul together in partnership. That's what a person is. And all the things that exist in the body and are true have an equivalent in the soul. They are partners and they're a match. It actually talks about in Sfarim, in texts, about the fact that one of the ways that a soul might be punished is by being put into a body that doesn't match it. It's the wrong kind of body that it can't partner with, and then it never gets to express itself, and that's a punishment that could be a form of punishment for the soul. So they work together. Each of us is a body and a soul, and we can't differentiate between them in our experience because they become one in a person. They make us who we are. And all the things that exist in the body and the guf are also true in the neshama, in the soul. The soul also has all of these different layers and things that are going on, and it's equally as complex. And the soul is equally a part of who we are, even though it's harder to relate to than a body. We can touch the body, we can feel it, we can see it. We can't touch or see or feel the soul, but it's equally real and it's equally a part of who we are. And the same way that our actions travel up the chain through different layers of reality, our actions affect our neshama. And the same way that when a person takes an Advil, they can't see what the Advil's doing, which is why a person might make a mistake and say, well, I'm out of Advil, but I have this other pill, it looks exactly the same, I might as well take it. Same color, same shape, same size, why not? Bad idea. Because the thing that makes the Advil take away the headache is something that we don't see. It's not the shape and the size and the color that make it do that. It's something else that we don't see. We can't see what it's doing, but it doesn't make a difference whether or not we can see it. It still does the job. It's the same thing when we daven. It's the same thing when we learn. It's the same thing when we do a mitzvah. We don't see the impact that it has, but it is real. And the same way that we don't see what the Advil does, but it makes a difference to our experience, and we may never understand why. Right? When a patient goes to a doctor and says, I have this problem, I have this pain and this discomfort, and the doctor says, okay, ask questions, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what it is, take this medication. And most people are just going to say, okay, thank you. I don't understand how it's going to help. Does the fact that I don't understand how the medication is going to help me, does that make it help me any less? Doesn't make a difference. I don't need to understand how it works for it to help me. And let's say that I do ask the doctor and say, well, how does it work? What's it going to do? And let's say the doctor says, listen, I'm really sorry. I have like a lot of patients waiting. I'm not able to explain it to you right now as much as I'd love to. Or you know what the doctor might even say? The doctor might even say, you know what, honestly, I don't know. I just know that the research says that this medication helps this problem. That's what I know. If a patient's going to say, well, if you don't tell me how it works, I'm not going to take the medication. It's not a very clever patient. It doesn't hurt the doctor if I don't take the medication. It's not a punishment. I'm not threatening the doctor. So if you don't tell me how it works, I'm not taking it. Because if I don't, it doesn't matter whether or not I know how it works. If it's going to help, it's going to help. I don't have to see what it's going to do. It can still change my experience and make my life better, even though I don't understand how, even though I don't see what's going on. And it's the same thing. Everything we do has an impact. The mitzvahs, the averos, the things we do right, the things we do wrong. It has an impact in this layer of reality. It has an impact all the way up the chain. And the things that travel up and travel back down, and it has an impact on our body, and it has an impact on our neshama, on our soul. And even though we don't understand what a soul is, we can understand to a degree, but we'll never relate to it the same way that we relate to our bodies. It's always going to be abstract. It's always going to be distant and difficult to understand and relate to. That's the way it is. That's the way it's supposed to be, for whatever reason. It doesn't change the fact that the soul, that the neshama, is part of what makes us who we are and affects the experience that we have.